right to this a suggestion via a channel member, guys. The name of the video is hold on. Tim Walz refuses to take accountability for Minnesota's welfare fraud. So obviously, we're going to be jumping into what's been going on specifically with the individuals that came as refugees to Minnesota that have been caught funding al-Shabaab, and that's basically most likely the scenario that we're about to encounter. So if Tim Walz is responding to how he allowed that to happen, kind of under his watch, I'm down. Let's jump into it.
Dozens of people of East African descent have been charged, convicted, and sentenced for stealing more than $1 billion in taxpayer money from government programs during COVID. Do you take responsibility for failing to stop this fraud in your state?
Well, certainly I take responsibility for putting people in jail. Governors don't get to just talk theoretically. We have to solve problems. Minnesota is a generous state. Minnesota is a prosperous state, a well-run state. We're AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals. Those people are going to jail. We're doing everything we can.
Guys, now insert specifically, like knowing who Tim Walz is, knowing who he basically ran with, kind of knowing his politics, knowing how he feels specifically about the concept of illegal immigration and open borders. It's an interesting thing to encounter what he just said here. He seems to have just contradicted his entire message here. Like, so it seems like all he did, right, is changed, let's say, the United States of America for Minnesota. That's what he did here. He's saying that he understands that there are sometimes when you're offering all these welfare programs or these like entitlements specifically, there are people from outside of the country, right, who will come running to basically be able to kind of take advantage of said welfare or entitlement programs that are specifically meant for United States citizens, right? So he knows that because he just said that. But for some reason, when you just change the words a little bit, right, and it's the same exact meaning of the statement itself, he goes against it. So how is it that we can kind of come together kind of as as a base of citizens and understand what's actually happening here? Because once you change things, the word, Trump is going to be known as the deporter in chief, evil. You get what I'm saying here? Like now Trump is the most evil person in the world. He's deported. Look at the amount of people that he's deported, right? But not understanding fully that Obama was the deporter in chief. All right. That's what he was called in a good amount of South American countries. But because we're using the term or the name specifically Obama, it's completely fine. He could do no wrong. Right. And that's the kind of thing that I think many people are sick and tired of being sick and tired of when it comes to the left and some of the things that they're basically promoting these days, at least, guys, right? Because once you change it, guys, listen, go back to the 90s and listen to Hillary Clinton talk about immigration. Right? Most of these people, like, listen to them speak, and you'll be like, wait a second, bro, you flip-flopped because you thought that your base wanted that exclusively, right? You are scrupulous, sir. You know exactly if you offer too many programs, there are people from outside of the United States of America that are going to come running specifically for this here. Is it every single person of Somali descent? No. We're talking about the ones who came to the country under the refugee programs and specifically 100%, all right, 100% here, refused to assimilate into the local culture. Those people, all right, those specific people. Is it everyone else? No, they're fine. Yes. But either way.
Governor Tim Walz is struggling to defend reports of massive fraud that occurred under his watch, some of which reportedly went to the Somali terrorist organization al-Shabaab. Yeah. The New York Times is reporting everyone, including Walz, was ignoring the warning signs because they were fearful of alienating the Somali community. And a lawyer representing one of the Somalis convicted of fraud said, quote, "It was like stealing money from the cookie jar." But instead of taking responsibility, Walz is attacking, guess who? Trump.
And they kept refilling it.
That is totally disconnected with demonizing an entire group of people who came here
who's doing
Civil
that?
War and created a vibrant community that makes Minnesota and this country better. But that's Donald Trump. Deflect, demonize, come up with no solutions. He's not going to help fix anything on fraud. My God, there's a big difference between fraud and corruption is something he knows about.
Oh, okay. But yet he refuses to completely acknowledge his literal contradiction here, right? Right? Okay.
There's a big difference between fraud and corruption is something he knows about.
Well, get tampon 10 off my screen, bro.
Hear an answer to, do you take any responsibility from the governor there?
Of course not. And I think what I get so frustrated about is like this forcing us to choose sides. I mean, two things can be true at the same time. They could be fleeing a civil war, but they could also be coming here and committing fraud. They are
but it's not
mutually
everyone.
exclusive. Just to give you an example how bad this fraud is, there was one particular program that was created in the state of Minnesota to support homeless folks. It was budgeted for about $2 million, 2.6 when it started in 2020. And according to the feds, the program's cost because of the fraud ballooned to more than $100 million. So going from 2 million to 100 million because of this fraud being taken by these people who weren't entitled to this money. No services were actually provided under Tim Walz's watch. You're right. He should take some accountability for that.
Well, and Joey, part of the reason this wasn't gone after so hard is because they didn't want to offend the Somalis living in the community.
Yeah.
Which is, wow.
I got to go back to the fact, a man who would abandon his unit right before they deployed to war not only doesn't get any of my respect.
This is character assassination, whatever he's about to say.
But he also can't sink so low that he surprises me either. And so maybe the cowardice that was in him when he ran away from deploying to war is a part of why he couldn't tell people no. Oh, well, we're going to do 2 million, but they want 100 million. Okay, well, we'll do 100 million. Yeah. I don't have much respect for this man. It makes sense that he couldn't run his state very well. My hope for those in Minnesota is that they find somebody else soon.
Well, actually, on that note, Tom, folks in Minnesota are really upset about this. And the question is, will the GOP be able to take back the governor's mansion in 2026? Because with help of this.
Yeah, well, they should be angry.
No.
We got the governor here who's trying to blame Trump, and he's touting his AAA bond rating of his state to try to answer that question. And you've got a community that was committing fraud on a massive scale, and he called them a vital and vibrant part of our community.
Yeah, because it's not the entirety of the community. It's a small subsection of the people. If that was the case, then every single person that is of Somali descent, specifically in that region, would be sitting in jail cells. The fact is that they're not. So you need to kind of understand the difference between lumping every single person into one singular group and understanding that there's always a subsection of individuals that are absolutely here for the sole purpose of absolutely harming the United States of America in some meaningful manner. I think that's the problem here. Words do mean things here, guys.
That was committing fraud on a massive scale, and he called them a vital and vibrant part of our community. I wonder if the citizens of Minnesota agree with that they're a vibrant part of their community.
No, these are taxpayers, Lydia. I mean, these are folks who are sitting there trying to make a living day to day, survive on what they've got, and they're watching this and hearing an attorney of a convict say it was like taking candy from a baby?
Yeah, the real irony here is that it sounds like the state would have really benefited from some doging, some oversight, and some inquiry. But Tim Walz, governor there, he was too busy, criticizing Elon Trump and celebrating when the Tesla stock fell to really stop and think, oh, maybe we could borrow some of the principles that Elon Musk is espousing there in D.C.
Okay. What's interesting though is that I was also moderately celebrating specifically, right? Because I had pulled out a Tesla a while ago, in terms of the stock at least, right? I pulled out. I sold my stock like a long time ago, stupidly, right? And I was just waiting for it to go down again. That may sound crazy selfish, right? But I went hard when it dropped, and I like that, right? So understand this here. I like buying when things are low, right? So it was low, so we did very well on that, right? I drive a Tesla also, so that's a thing. But the reality of the scenario here is that, guys, who's responsible for this? Obviously, if you're kind of promoting all of these entitlements and things like that, then there are people who are absolutely here for nefarious purposes that are here to take advantage of that system. It is what it is here, guys. There is always going to be an element of scammery when there's an element of benevolence, if that makes any sense here, right? It is what it is here. Like that's not something that is brand new to the planet. It's humanity, right? I think the people of Minnesota, I don't live in Minnesota, guys, right? But I think the people of Minnesota fully understand that there could, in fact, be some type of vibrant, thriving community, et cetera, right? Sure. But also understand that there's an element kind of within that community itself that is absolutely toxic and here to take as much as and not give anything to the people as humanly possible. Let's just say this here. But it just turns out that this group of individuals, again, small group of individuals compared to the actual sizable community in Minnesota, right? That has been funding groups that absolutely want to annihilate us and have utter disdain for us. That's the reality here. So that's something that I think we need to kind of understand fully, like be able to flush out, kind of make sense of, because I hate the concept of like lumping every single person, every group. That's wild to me, bro. Because again, if it was every single person, they would all be in jail. And I'm sure there are free Somalians walking around Minnesota right now. All right. So let's stick to the non-emotional facts. There was one guy that didn't really have much to say, like ad hominem type attacks, guys. There's so much you could say about Tim Walz. Like there's so much you could have said, but you didn't. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. In the meantime, I'll catch you guys later. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies, and I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings, and we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry. Right? Listen, like and subscribe.